But before we just go for this, I just recapitulate the previous session, the highlights of the previous session, because the sisters could not get the gist of what we discussed in our last session. So we discussed about the different natural phenomena that happen around us, and that is enough to understand the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his enormous favors, his enormous blessings upon us. Then we discuss about the marvels of food and treatment. We discuss about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and he made our life dependent on the food. So our body, our physical body needs certain ingredients. Our physical body needs certain nutrients. And how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed the earth with the potential to produce all those nutrients which we require. And then the plants, they also need the food. The animals, they also need the food. So we discuss the hierarchy and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has structured us according to our needs. Plants, they are not having the locomotion because they don't need it. They can produce the food where they are implanted. So they don't have to go from one place to other place in search of the food. On the other hand, animals are blessed with this locomotion. They can move from one place to other place because they cannot produce their food of their own. So they need to find it out. Then plants have been made firm. Most of the animals on the planet are herbivores, most of the planets. So they need the grass, they need the vegetation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set the vegetation firm on the ground so that it does not move from one place to other place. The hikmah is, if the plants were also, they were also blessed with the locomotion, moving from one place to other place, then hundreds and thousands of animals would die out of starvation. It's a beautiful scheme of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a beautiful scheme of his creation. And then human beings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. So all of us need specific amount of carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals. And all these things are available in the form of the food. So these are the different blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How he structured our mouth, how he blessed us with the teeth, then the salivary glands, and how then there are two pipes, esophagus and trachea, the windpipe and the food pipe. The food pipe helps the food which is crushed into the mouth to get into the stomach. And then there are many other metabolic processes going on. Actually, Imam Al-Ghazali rahimahullah, he explains this process so that we understand the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What if we required for the digestion of the food to get top up? Okay, we arranged the food, we ate the food, but in order to process it, in order to let the metabolic process move on, if we needed the top up, if we needed the recharge for this, so hundreds and thousands of people would die because they would not be able to top up for this. What if we are supposed to see with our eyes, but we don't have to pay the fee for this? For electricity, to see during the night, we pay for this. But the two batteries which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us free of cost, we don't have to pay anything for this. Is it enough, sufficient proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us for a specific purpose and he has flooded us with all the blessings and the bounties, which we usually are heedful. We are heedful of, we are negligent to, because of our overwhelming desire and lust of this dunya. And then the different layers and the different elements of air, soil, heat, and water, how they work together in order to prepare the food for us. So this is what we discussed in our previous session. We discussed the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such as the food, the sun, that we usually neglect. We never pay heed to. We never pay our heed to it. Then we also discuss about the reasons of negligence of graces. It's actually due to the ignorance. Since when we develop this overwhelming desire of dunya, And we don't try to understand. We enjoy the blessings, but we never try to find out who sent these blessings, who sent these blessings to us. Then I always give the example of a person who is getting the amount $100,000 every month in his account, but he never pays attention to the benefactor, to the generous person who arranges this thing, this $100,000 every month for him. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has flooded this earth, the tremendous amount of blessings and bounties, which were enough to lead a person towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But why don't we still get it? Because first of all these things become a routine matter for us. When anything becomes routine to us, it becomes hateless. A person does not pay any heed towards it. Because when you come across with any event, every now and then, so its importance is receded. Its significance is altogether deflated in the sight of a person. It's ignorance, al-jahlu, and not to try to understand the purpose of life, not to try to understand why Allah created this universe and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has structured this universe. Then a number of blessings which we enjoy, still we complain of Allah, we complain of all these deprivations. Allah has given a lot, since the desire, the awareness, the greed, which makes us to forget about all the blessings which Allah has given us. Then Imam Al-Ghazali rahimahullah gave example of a person. He went to a Sheikh and asked him that he is facing the poverty. Hasn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enough amount for him? He is the master of the universe. He is the owner of all the treasures of this universe. To make him realize the different bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, would you like to have 10,000 dirhams or $10,000 and lose your eyesight? He answered in the negative. No, how come? Then he asked, would you like to be dumb and possess $10,000? Again, his answer was in negative. Would you like to be insane, not in your senses? Would you like to be lunatic and have $10,000? He answered in the negative. So he began to count all these ni'mah, which he never counted, which he never realized that these are the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah made many people blind. But if you see the ratio, which is not 0.0001% of the total population of the world, not 0.0001%. So this minute exception Allah made as an example for those who are blessed with the eyesight. Though a test and trial for those who are deprived of this eyesight, at the same time an admonition, a reminder for those whom Allah blessed with this thing. If you see the number of deaf people, it's quite negligible all over the world. If you see the number of dumb people, as compared to the people who are blessed with the speech, who can speak to the people, it's negligible. For them, it's a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But for the rest of the humanity, a source of admonition, a source of reminder that Allah could have created you like this. But since when priorities change, when we set our priorities based on the dunya, neglecting our purpose of life, and ignoring our life after the death, then definitely a person will have these feelings of deprivation. So, then we also discuss about Sayyidina Muhammad ibn Sammak rahimahullah ta'ala. He was one of the muhaddis. One day he met Harun al-Rashid. And Muhammad ibn Sammak rahimahullah ta'ala, he asked for a cup of water. When it was brought before, then he said, "O Caliph, if you are prevented to drink this cup of water unless you lay down your office or your khilafah, office of khilafah, will you do so?" When a person does not find the water is one of the essential element for our survival. If you reach to the level of thirst, that you don't find any water and you are told that you will be given this cup of water, but you have to give all your office of khilaf. He answered in affirmative, surely, because by the end of the day, his life is more important than his rule. So he will surely give up all his office of khilafah against one cup of water. Then Muhammad ibn Sammak, rahimahullah, he said, okay, after you have drunk it, now if you are unable to excrete this water unless you give up your office and property, would you do so? Harun al-Rashid, rahimahullah ta'ala, as I said before, he was a very pious person, pious caliph of this ummah. When he was offered the second question, that if you are unable to excrete it, it gets stuck into your urinary bladder. You're not able to release it. Definitely, a person's belly will be swollen. Is about to burst up. He'll be ruptured if it stays there for a long period of time, and it will be turned into all a poisonous substance that will destroy enough for the destruction of a person. And even at the time of the death of a person, he stops excreting his urine. He said, of course, when it is a question of my life, I would give all of my khilafah, all of my office of khilafah, and all the property I possess to survive myself. And he said, what does it avail for a thing less worth than a cup of water? All this dunya, all your khilafah, all your office of rule, your rulership is not even worthy of one cup of water. Because one cup of water is more important than this. Actually making him realize that what the different ni'mah which Allah has given us. We eat the food. How many people are there? They have to walk miles together to digest the food. And there are hundreds and thousands of the people who have to walk miles to get one single morsel. Yet there are other people who have to walk miles to get the food digested. So when we reflect in our day-to-day lives, actually the gist, the substance and the gist of the discussion is that we should not let the ordinary things which happen all around, which happen every day in front of us, we should not ignore them. We should not let them happen heedlessly. Rather, we need to reflect on it. Every event that happens around us, we need to just reflect on it. Then we realize it is a bounty and blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are having this session of knowledge. How many people are there? Somebody just lying on his bed, somebody is cracking the joke, somebody is wasting their time. How fortunate we are, at least, that we are connected to understand the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a blessing of Allah. Yet many people, they attend the sessions of knowledge, but they don't realize this, that is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Special blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We could have been among such people who miss these sessions. They don't pay any attention towards it. But inshallah, our time, our engagement with these sessions will be a source of success in dunya and also a source of success in the akhirah. Isn't it a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That at least we are in a session, we remember Allah, we remember His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. At least we feel that yes, I have wasted my life. I did not live my life the way I should have. Now still, at least we can get the motivation for tawbah. So there are hundreds and thousands of blessings which surround us, but we are unaware about it. Therefore, the gist of the discussion is that we need to reflect on all the events, what's happening around us, that will help us to increase our iman, that will help us to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will help us to give up the sentiments of ingratitude,